Hello, I'm VXToyCat and welcome back to another video. Today I have something a little bit different and fun to share with you all because today I have some bad Minecraft advice. This is for those of you who like giving your friends bad advice or just for those who want to reminisce about the times when you first got into Minecraft, because there are so many things that seem like they make sense, and especially if a friend tells you, it's like, yeah, of course that makes sense, until you actually do them and you realize it's actually a terrible idea. And I think it'd be fun to share some of those in today's noob mistakes video. So please do like it if you do like it, because it helps out the channel a lot, and let me know you do like it. And let's get straight into the video then, shall we? With the first new mistake a lot of people make, and this is perhaps the biggest one, because everyone will always tell you just how cool obsidian is. It makes, nether portals, and it makes all these things, but a lot of people don't tell you need a diamond pickaxe to get it. So when you first see it, you're like, oh, obsidian, this is super, super rare, I'm going to start mining it immediately. And, you might think, oh, it's weird that this takes so much longer than every other block, but I guess you get something really cool out of it. Does diamonds pour out? Do you get to go to the nether? Do you get all these different things? And, people will always hype it out to you, but they'll never tell you about the diamond pickaxe until you go through your first experience of breaking the entire obsidian block, which, by the way, they recently actually made it a lot better. It used to take a full 4 minutes to mine with anything besides diamonds. Now it only takes 40 or so seconds with an iron pickaxe. But yeah, you'd mine the entire block and be like, aha, I'm going to get my obsidian now. It's going to be great. It's going to be the moment in my day. And then you realize that when you break the block without a diamond pickaxe, that you actually don't get anything. So you'll see that in a second here, where you're just like, oh, it's going to break, and okay, nothing. So yeah, that's one of the most disheartening moments ever. But it's also kind of a fun learning moment where you're like, oh, how did I not know that? But, that's one of the best ways to learn, I guess, to make a horrendous mistake. So, speaking of horrendous mistakes that help you learn, this is admittedly the very first one I've made in the world, because, when people first tell you about crouching, you're like, what does this even do? I'm just going slow. This is useless. But you don't actually realize that it allows you to not fall off edges for a while, which, can come in pretty handy if you're trying to make, like, a pathway like this. So, basically, when I first started Minecraft, I wanted to make a massive sky, like a pathway in the sky, so I kept on doing this, and of course, I'm sure a lot of you have done the same, until you eventually, no doubt, you're like, okay, I'm gonna get on the edge here, I can't make it, and then you fall down. So obviously, most people don't have water save in that situation, but it's still a pretty serious one that will come up a lot. So, another piece of bad advice that, your friends will tell you, and they might, even be pretty serious about, is telling you that, oh, the potion of harming is really, really good, Toy Cat. It's really great for PvP. It does so much damage. And you're like, ooh, I'm going to brew myself one of those. So you go through all the effort of brewing, you learn how to do it, and you're like, ooh, I've got the potion of harming now. So I guess it works like magic in Minecraft. That's pretty cool. And you drink them, I'm going to damage someone. Oh. And then your friends come in and kill you, and you're like, oh, so I guess maybe the potion of harming is actually harming you. So, yeah, no one ever tells you you're meant to make a splash potion of harming, and that's a pretty fun way to troll your friends who are first getting into potion brewing, to be like, oh, that's the best potion in the game, because to some extent, the potion of harming is one of the best potions. So another one that will come up, and again, you can give some bad advice to your friends about, is when it comes to wolves. You might think, how am I going to, what do you do with these things? Are they just there to get some loot? Do you tame them? And you're like, oh yeah, you tame them, but to tame them, you have to have an act of aggression to show that you're the alpha male, and then they'll all follow you around. It's like, that sounds like it makes sense. They are wolves after all. So you attack one, you're like, aha, I'm going to show them the wolf boss. And then you get angry demon wolves, usually like 2 or 3 or 4 or something like that. And of course, this is one of the easiest ways to die, because look at them, they're demon wolves. So yeah, that's a common mistake you can run across. And along the same lines, I'm sure you can guess what's along the same lines as the wolf thing. Basically, if you're ever in the nether and you're like, ooh, I want to get myself one of the really cool pieces of equipment, you'll see zombie pig and you're like, ooh, they're not attacking me. I guess they're a non-hostile mob. I guess I get some cool stuff from them. But I'm sure you know what happens when you actually attack one. Every single one within a decent block radius will come after you, and they'll stay after you for a while. And also, they're popping out here to attack me. So let's that's not meant to happen. So you are going to go back there, and we can move on to the next tip. So let's just use this iron pickaxe. And yeah, let's move on to the next little tip, which happens when you think to yourself, okay, I've got myself a diamond sword, but now I found some gold. Let's make a gold sword, because gold, logically, you'd think it'd be better than diamond. I mean, in a lot of real world situations, gold is like the top tier, right? However, that's not really how it works. In real life, it is actually a very malleable metal, so it's easy to work with. But that means that if you are to attack, zombies and stuff, it's like, oh, this isn't actually much stronger than my other sword, and in fact, it's taking my entire sword durability just to kill 2 zombies here. So you can see, just like that, I've wasted more than 2/3, I think that's like 3/4 of my gold sword's durability. It's like, oh, I went through all this effort and now the sword is broken. So, yeah, common mistake people make is thinking gold is better than diamond. And, if you think that it's also going to last you anywhere near as long as even wood, then that's a pretty easy mistake to make. And admittedly, it's kind of a stupid one, but it's still one that, comes up a lot. So, finally, if you're ever in the situation where you're like, okay, so I'm in a hole, I don't have anything to get out with, except I've got gravel. And then your friends tell you, oh yeah, you can use gravel to get yourself out, and you're like, oh, it'll fall down below my feet, and then it'll just, slowly rise me up. I think if in real life, you could probably swim through some sand to get up to the top. I don't know if that really works, but in Minecraft, you place the gravel, and it's like, oh, So I guess, yeah, I'm going to slowly float up with it, right? And then this happens, you're like, and then you jump. It's like, oh, I guess that's just what happens, right? So you place both, and then, I can't, okay, and then you do it again, and so on and so forth. It's a very bad piece of advice, because most of the time, if you don't know to jump, or you don't know what's happening, you just see lots of gravel in your face, and you're like, I don't even know what's happening. And let me just show an example of that. So if you can get enough gravel off at once, what happens is this, and you have to like really jump really quickly. If you're low on health anyway, then it's pretty much a sure way to die. So let's just quickly eat up, because we're in very low health here. The next one will come when you're in a cave and you're like, oh, I have no more torches, I can't make any more, I didn't bring any wood. But what you do have with you is enough iron to make a bucket, and then it's like, oh, lava is a good light source, right? You know, you're in a mob spawner. Lava's a good light source. Let's use it as a way to actually see. Oh, we can see now we're in a mob spawner. Oh, look, here are the chests, and let's grab our stuff from the chests. And then before you realize it, this has happened, and you've got almost certain death ahead of you. And it's like, well, I guess it was nice knowing you all. So then you jump in the lava, and the predictable thing happens. So anyway, I hope you did enjoy this video. That was some bad Minecraft advice or noob mistakes that you first make when you get into Minecraft. I wonder which one of those you can reminisce with, because I know a lot of those are ones that, you know, I made the common mistake of my first time. I'd like to know about you, though. And also, before you get to the end of this one, I'd like to start like something pretty cool and new, hopefully, here, where basically the idea behind this is it's going to be YouTube comments, build a house. So I'm going to go into creative for this one. So we switched to creative so I can quickly talk about my YouTube comments building a house idea. So the idea behind this one is I really wanted to have this kind of random effect thing of building a house, and basically what I've done is I've allocated a 50 by 50 by 50 plot, and this is where every single person in the comments, you can place a block. No matter what block you decide, as long as it's a placeable block, I will place it where you tell me to within these coordinates. So it has to be within x100 and x150, it has to be between z1 and z50, and it has to be between y5 and y55. If you give me any value between those three numbers, so you can be like x121, y18, z20, place a stone block, and then I'll do it. If you want to be like, you know, y5, x140, z41, place the, you know, gravel block. You can totally do that, and I figured what would be really fun is because if there's like 100+ comments, we'd get a lot of people together, not knowing what each other are doing, trying to build a house together, and I wanted to see how it turns out. So yeah, try and read the other comments and work out what you're doing there. I'm really curious to see how this does turn out, so just bear in mind the only two rules is the block has to be placeable, and only one comment per person. So one comment per person. See if we can make a house together with just, you know, with those rule sets. I want to see how it turns out. I'll make a video when this finally does happen, so you will be put in the video, everybody. But yeah, we're going to be trying YouTube comments, build a house. Please do leave a comments down below with the suggested thing. I'll leave an example comment so you can check mine and we'll see what happens. And I want to see exactly how this works. So yeah, my example comment, I guess, just so you can see what it will be. I want to place a stone block at, or, you know, yeah, I want to place a stone block at x1... 32, y5, z3, let's place it. However, if you want to coordinate and you want to be like, okay, let's get 9 blocks of gold together and let's have a beacon on top of that, that's something you can do if you can, you know, try and coordinate with other people. But again, only one comment per person, your block has to be placeable. Let's see what happens. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes, and yeah, let's do that. But anyway, I hope you didn't enjoy this bad Minecraft advice video. Please do like it if you did like it, share it if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this every single day on my channel, and if subscribed, you'll see them daily on your homepage. I look forward to seeing how this YouTube comments build a house video turns out, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!